There are those among us who will remember the days when the name Uniquefire was a lot more popular. I reviewed another Uniquefire not long ago, and well, it was less than impressive. Not that I really expected too much, but for those of us who've been in the flashlight community for a long time, we have memories of things. And one of those is what Uniquefire used to be. And I say used to be, meaning, well, they never really were anything, but at least to us they were. So this is the V3, UF-V3. And if you look it up, you'll find that it used to be quite popular. For some reason, Uniquefire has limited themselves now to the backwaters of AliExpress, that questionable site with lots and lots of scammers and a quirky checkout experience. I'm still dealing with a bug that won't let me check out a lot of my items. I have no idea why. They have a support team on it. So this light has always been one of my favorites of theirs. Not because it's a good quality light, because it isn't. It's a very budget light. But as far as budget lights go, it is actually an impressively unique light. And that is what I'm kind of trying to stress to you here. I'll tell you the story about how I ordered this, and then we're not going to waste a lot of time. We're just going to go outside to see it in action. Now, this website boasts XML T6, and to it, I actually took it apart and put it back together. This does have a T6 in there from the original batch. It really does, and I'll tell you why I took it apart. Because the beam was just shitty. I mean, it was just a terrible beam. And it looked funny and it didn't throw well, but I said, I remember it throwing much better than this. This doesn't look right. And I went to Uniquefire and said, you know, what's the problem here? And they said, look, it's just fine. It's our light. And I actually demanded my money back. I said, this thing looks so ugly. But I stopped short of that, and I went and I screwed the reflector in again, and I took out the pill, and lo and behold, it fixed it. So it actually throws very well now. Now, it's not going to throw in league with a large, really huge head, and it doesn't put out a whole lot of lumens. It's about 650 lumens, but lights of this time period were circa 2011. But this is a reverse clicky, very rugged looking little performer. It screws in just fine. And I was so glad I took it apart, and I had to put back in the spacer that's under here. And lo and behold, I got it to work exactly like I wanted it. So you got this awesome clip here. God, that's so awesome. And it's one of the best clips ever made. It's not going to bend on you. It's not going to be crooked on you. It's really, really firm. It's got a very firm switch action. You know, obviously it's not going to meet my standards, but it's a budget light. I'm using one of my old Sanyo Kaidamain cells, 2600 milliwatt amp cells. It's just an unprotected little lithium ion kicker, and I've had it all of these years. I've had it and used it in most of my lights that can take it. Lo and behold, by the way, you can take that off. You can see how you can unscrew that and take it off. Lo and behold, this is one of the most reliable batteries I've ever had. And it's in a light that is not very remarkable, but it is for nostalgia. So we're going to take out the UF-V3 and we're going to see what it's capable of.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
That's what the beam actually looks like right there. once again, reflector dimensions are everything. Reflector dimensions are everything. They are what make these lights sing the language of heaven. They just are. If you get the even if it's not a particularly big reflector, it's that right combination of reflector dimensions that allow the beam to be worth something or not worth something. Now this is a terrible thrower for the further out, but right up here, closer than about 80 to 100 meters, that fence line is just over 100 meters way back here. Trees are in this person's yard, about 100 meters. So you're not gonna call this a great thrower, but you will call it a nice thrower. And for a $19 flashlight, yes, this is a sub $19 flashlight. It's about $18.75 with shipping and tax. It's just over $19, and maybe a couple dollars more than that. But for that, you make some sacrifices. 650 lumens isn't bad. Many of you remember the days when 650 lumens was killer bright. But it's those dimensions that actually make this threaten to be an almost good purchase. Because look at the spill ratio to throw ratio you get. This is really nice. Now it's not going to be beyond the occasional flicker or issue, but of course this means it could serve as a mod host. If you put an SST40 in this thing, now you're really going to talk the language of heaven. Take our attention to the other wall. It's just impressive. I'm just sorry it's not kicking out a lot of lumens. The package says 2,500 lumens. Yeah, right. But it's nice. It's still got the sufficient lumens to make your night much better, It's been on about 10 minutes now. Very comfortable to hold. Very nice. Because of all this rain, the grass is starting to grow. I'm gonna have to get the guy out. You can see the tall grass in the back there. A couple of dead spots, but they're mostly gone now. So here it is, folks. This is really pretty cool. I can almost recommend it to you. You modders can go crazy here, really. So let's go through the modes real quick. You are going to get pulse width modulation on the lower modes, but you don't notice it. Maybe I don't notice it to the eyes. Five mode drivers, those were the days. Okay folks, before we close out for the night, we're going to do a comparison between the UF-V3 and my SkyStead C8. Now, this is just a cheap XML2 U3 model C8, very cheap. You can get them on Amazon, versus the UF-V3 at XML-T6. So first of all, we're going to fire it up. Now, this is in my left hand, the UF-V3, and we're going to see this nice little throwy budget contender by itself. Now we're going to bring in the SkyStead C8. Now notice the brightness advantage here is very clear. The clear winner is the SkyStead C8, but we expected that because it's a newer, more advanced, higher performing emitter. Excuse me, I'm swatting mosquitoes. But when we put them on the wall, because of the intensity of the beam, it's a little bit closer match, because again, the reflector dimensions and the type kind of give it a different appeal. It's a little bit tighter than the brighter, right at 1,000 lumens C8. Let's go over that one more time. Pretty impressive reflector, this UF-V3. So I'm going to put the link to the AliExpress store where you can get one. And if you want to, why not get yourself another toy? Y'all have a good one.